It was my first day at my new school. I got into my bus and sat on the first seat I could find. This one had heightened seats, because it was right above the wheels. I got myself seated, and when I was about to get out, I hit myself on the head from the overhead compartment. I looked around to see if anyone saw me embarrass myself. There he was, smiling at me as I stood there, tomato red from embarrassment. Let's call him Roy. Roy was in the same grade as me but a different section. We were on the same bus route, and he lived a couple societies away. We found each other annoying at first. We always fought, but one day, after class, he came into the bus all giddy. I asked him what happened. He told me he wanted to propose to this girl he likes. I helped him plan the perfect proposal. The next day, he went ahead with the plan but got rejected. I comforted him the entire time, and that is when we grew close. I thank that girl every day that she left, because if not for her I wouldn't have him. Days became weeks, weeks became months, and months became years, and we were growing closer than ever. Everyone shipped us together, from the students to the teachers. I would take every chance to go into his classroom to get a glance of him, and every time I went, I could feel his eyes on me. He loved sports, cricket to be precise. I didn't even like cricket, but I would sit down and watch every match carefully so that I had something to talk with him about. One day, I came to the bus early and I started crying. He came in after me. It was just using two. He asked me what was wrong. I said nothing. He didn't listen. He kept asking me to talk to him. I pushed him away and said I need space. He walked out of the bus and came back with a lunchbox full of sweet treats. I looked at him, all confused, and he said, I am sorry I couldn't give you space. The least I could give you is a box of cookies. I asked where he managed to get these cookies. It wasn't just cookies. It has candies and a little laddu too. Laddu is an Indian sweet. He said his class had a Diwali party and everyone had extras, so we went around asking everyone to fill his box for more treats. I hugged him tight. He wiped my tears using his handkerchief, held my hands and said, I will always be there for you. It must have been my stupid teenage hormones, but that was when I fell for him. He was such an angel. Every morning he would come sit beside me. If I was reading he would stare at me. If I was feeling sleepy, he would let me sleep on his shoulder while he stroked my hair. My tuition was right next to his house. We would get ice cream every day after class. I knew we liked each other, but neither one of us wanted to risk our friendship. Even my mom knew about him. She loved him. She would let us go out on his scooty, and would always ask me about him. I was always so happy when he was with me. I had a bad time at school, and at home too most of the time, but he was always there to comfort me. He would hug me every time I cried, and then spam my phone with memes. Every time my laces came out, he would get on his knees and tie them back because I couldn't tie my laces. On my birthday, he took me out and let me eat whatever I wanted. We spent a lot that day. He gave me a pair of earrings and I wore it every single day. I learned my mother tongue and started communicating with my mom in Telugu. She was impressed. That day when I walked him out of the society, he held my hand. I became weak in the knees and I was practically jumping with his hand in mine. He was scared out of his wits. On my farewell, he proposed in Telugu and OFC I said yes. I gave him the tightest hug and kissed him really hard. I was waiting for this moment for 2 years now. We hung out in my society a lot more after that. All my friends knew him. My mother and brother loved him, but my dad hated him. He told me to stay away from him, but my mom would help me sneak out and meet him on the days my dad was home. Otherwise he was practically at my house most of the time. He would play cricket with my brother, or help my mother in the kitchen, or teach me physics. Every time we met he gave me a little flower he got from his garden. We would make plans to meet up and play badminton, but we would always end up making out in the service lift. He would hold me by the waist and lift me up to kiss me, and when he put me down, he start moving his hands down to my ass as I played with his hair. We had kissed at his house, at my house, and almost every single service lift of our society. Almost everyone close knew. His friends hated me, so he stopped talking to them because he felt they didn't treat me right, and he kept his distance until they all apologized. He was such angel, just my type. He was tall and smart with good hair and knew how to dance, plus he was amazing at sports, which made him all the more hotter, and he never left my side. He was always by my side. But something happened one day and he started distancing himself. He stopped responding to my texts, stopped picking up my calls, but his friends told me nothing happened to him. He was doing fine. He ghosted me for a month. I kept messaging him like an idiot. I had talked to all his friends and all of them told me something has gotten into him. They even helped me get past the security at Roy's society, but I turned back without meeting him. It didn't feel right. He messaged me after a month without any context, and said he wanted to break up. I didn't understand why. He said he saw my Insta. He has my account. I was confused, and I called him and asked him what happened, and he said what happened. He said he saw me complaining to my best friend about how he was never available, and when she said I could do better I didn't say anything. He thought I agreed with her, because this has happened many times, and I never said anything to her. I agree I was wrong here, and I should have addressed his concerns, but I got upset that he would ghost me for a month and then come back when he wanted to and blame me for everything that happened when I was struggling with my academics. He knew I was suicidal, and I am pretty sure he saw my texts with my best friend about getting the urge to SH again. I told him if he felt that way, it was best for us to stay apart. He wanted to stay friends, and I replied with a whatever. He kept messaging me for the next few days, and I just replied with dry texts, and one day he asked me if something was bothering me. I said yes, a lot actually. He asked me what it was, and I said I don't trust you anymore. Not after when you left me when I needed you the most. He left me on scene. He kept messaging me for days. I always left him on scene. One day he asked me to meet up and I said yes. He apologized for everything and said he was stupid to fuck everything up. That he wanted to get back together, and he asked me that question a million times, and honestly I still loved him, but I would always remember his betrayal. I thought I had moved on when we met again, with our mutual friends, and I saw him with a girl. They weren't dating, but I felt this rage and jealousy inside me. I wasn't able to leave his behind. Here I was struggling with my academics with increased trust issues, but he was having the time of his life. Why was he getting everything nice, and why was I rotting like an idiot? He asked me if I wanted to get back again, but this time I only saw rage. He never stopped talking to me, but I feel he has moved on, and he just feels guilty for what he did, and he feels pity for me. I feel like such an idiot for not being able to keep this in the past and move on. This has been affecting everything in my life. I threw away all his gifts. I hate sports more than ever, and every time I pass by his society, I can't help but feel angry. I see him on the streets, and whenever I do I run away. I don't understand what is wrong with me. I never trusted anyone so much. I told him everything, about my past, my bad childhood, all my goals and everything I wished I had when I was younger. My fears and concerns, my emotions, everything under the sun, only for me to feel betrayed. I can't trust anyone anymore, and the worst part, I have no interest in anything or anyone. I already have depression, but now it feels worse. I don't love him anymore, but I don't hate him either. I feel angry at him, and just wish I had never met him.